Rashad was devastated when his high school sweetheart, Bree, moved away and left him for another man. But he got a second chance with her when they decided to rekindle their long-distance relationship in 2021. Rashad thought the relationship was going great. But then he discovered deleted text messages between Bree and other men. Rashad, you're in a long-distance relationship with Bree. How's that working out?
Well, I'm here, so not too good.
Why isn't things too good?
Well, in the beginning, I thought everything was fine. We were in love. Everything seemed to be going smooth. But eventually, I started to see red flags, and I knew something wasn't right.
What were the red flags?
So I'm not really good on social media, but I began to watch her social media, and I would see her. So on Facebook, you can like a photo or you can love a photo, but I figured that you have to hold a button in order to love it, and I started to see she was loving multiple guys' photos. And so I would ask her about the guys, and she would be like, they just are friends. But the more I went into it, I figured out they weren't, and so I asked her to delete them. And when she would delete them, I checked about 2 months later, and then the guys would be back on. And then when I questioned her on it, she would just get mad and hang up the phone. And I pretty much had to beg her to talk back to me.
Obviously, this upsets you greatly. How long have you known Bree?
So I known her when I was about 16, 17. I had already known her because we had friends in the same group. So that's when we actually met, but at that time I wasn't able to talk to her because she already had a boyfriend. Yeah. So I was just in the background, just waiting. Yeah. And then eventually she became single, and I shot my shot, and it worked out.
But she moved away, and she went to be with another man.
So she moved to live with her father, but when she moved, things got rocky because we weren't together all the time. Yeah. And then I found out that she called and was like, "I'm leaving you. I got another guy."
And obviously that had to hurt you a lot.
Bad.
Yeah. How did you two get back together?
So even after all this happened, I kept watching her. It was 7 years. I watched her for 7 years. And I pretty much waited to see that they were done. Yeah. And then I tried it again.
And how long ago have you been back with Bree now?
Since 2021. That was in May 2021.
Okay. And then you found deleted messages?
So she came to visit me July of this year, and we woke up that morning. Well, I went to work that morning, and she stayed in my house. And when I came back, she had cooked me some Alfredo. So we're sitting in the kitchen. She works from home, so she's on the computer. And while we're eating, I asked to see her phone, and I go through because I was asking my friend like how to find stuff, and he showed me how to check the deleted messages. And I went in and I saw a message from a dude that morning saying, "Good morning, beautiful." So I knew him right there.
When you confronted her about it, what did she say?
The first thing she said was it was her friend and that nothing was going on.
Hey, beautiful. Friends don't talk to each other that way. So did she eventually confess?
So it took her about 3 weeks to confess this. So actually, when I first saw the messages, I called the guy on FaceTime and confronted him.
What? And what did he say?
I don't need to be calling him. I need to take it up with my girl. And I pretty much let him know I'll be there to see him too.
And then she eventually admitted that she cheated on you?
3 weeks later.
Yeah. And what did she say?
That she was texting this one guy, that it was only one, but I found more.
Yeah. Did she admit to sleeping with somebody else?
So when I saw her again, I got to go through her Instagram, and I saw a message from a guy. So for her birthday, I let her go for her birthday to California. She was just with me the day before. So she went to California with her friends since she was going to meet her dad the day after. So when I let her go, that day, literally the day she went, I found out she slept with the guy because he said he's having flashbacks with a water emoji, and automatically know what that means.
Do you want a relationship with her?
I do. I want to marry her.
You want to marry her? But, okay. What if she fails her lie detector test today?
That won't be happening.
That won't be happening. If she fails, would you move on?
I have no choice.
You have no choice.
As a man, I have no choice.
And before I bring her out, she says you're a great guy and that she's so sure that you haven't done. She didn't want you to take a lie detector test.
And that's, I can see, that's true. Since I've got back with her, when I got my second chance, I said, so when I was with her the first time, I was young, I was in the street, wasn't that good of a boyfriend, and I knew that. So I knew when I got my second chance, I had to do it right. So I went in 100%.
All right, let's meet Bree.
Still love her.
I'm sorry for everything that I've done. I would never do it again, and I haven't been doing it again. I just want to prove my love to you so we can move on and get married and start a family.
But we know this test will prove everything, because if you fail this, we're done.
How would you describe the relationship?
I would describe it as, well, besides my error that I did, it's good. It's perfect.
How long ago was those errors?
Sexual contact, at least, was the only time was in May of 2022.
Right.
Anything else, I've just had conversations with other guys.
If you really love him, okay. If you really love him, why are you having conversations with other men?
I just like to be in control.
You like to be in control?
Yes, I do. I like to be in control of things, and I had a hole that I was trying to fill because I wasn't confident enough in myself. It had nothing to really do with him. I just made sure that I treated him the best as that I could, even though I had my own.
When you see him in so much emotional distress on stage here, we don't get a lot of guys that show that kind of emotion with these type of stories. He obviously was devastated by this. When you saw him backstage, right? When you see him in that state, how did you feel?
Guilty, hurt that I hurt him, that I've actually allowed myself to be able to do that to him, and it just brought tears to my eyes. I knew I was doing wrong, and I got so far caught into things where I didn't know how to stop. I didn't actually take the steps that he wanted me to take to be able to show that I do still love him and that I really still loved him besides all of that.
So why, when I caught you, you did it again?
I don't know.
Do you think that you love him the way he loves you?
I'm going to say he does love me more than I love him. Now, I'm not saying that I don't love him, but it's obvious that he does love me more than I love him.
I gotta say, if I was with you and I heard that would hurt me.
I know, but he wants me to tell the truth.
What are you saying?
Yes, it is hurtful, but it's,
he
it's
says
the truth.
he wants to spend the rest of his life with you.
And I want to do the same.
You want to do?
Yes.
So then would you say, if you want to spend the rest of your life with this man, you got to love him a lot, right?
I do love him a lot.
I'm just curious, how do you feel when she says, I don't love him as much as he loves me?
I feel like if she loved me like she supposed to, she wouldn't have done anything. Yeah. From the beginning, I told her I didn't want her having no male contact with anybody who was not a friend of mine, too. If the male's not my friend, how can you have a male friend? And I already explained to you how dudes are. no dude wants to be your friend. That's not how it goes.
I think it's okay for women to have male friends, but these aren't male friends. These are people that you are, at the very least, leading these men to think that there's a sexual relationship.
You spoke sexual with them.
Yes.
Right. And that's where we run into a problem. Just like men, I think men can have female friends, but if you're engaging in a way where they think that there's going to be sex, then it's an inappropriate relationship. Okay. Well, let's find out. Anybody think that Bree is going to pass? Is there anything you want to tell them before I read the results?
That I love you and I told my truth to you.
Okay. Let's find out. Bree came here and she took a lie detector test, and we asked her, besides what Rashad knows about since 2022, have you had sexual intercourse with any other men besides him? You answered no. Besides what Rashad knows about since 2022, have you had sexual contact with any other men besides him? You answered no. Since in a relationship with Rashad, have you sent sexually explicit content to any man besides him? You answered no. The results came back the same to each one of those three questions, and it came back that Bree told the truth.
I love you, baby. No. That song for you.
Well, before. No.
I love you with everything inside of me. You know, when I spend the rest of my life with you, whether it be my life.
I got a ring for him too.
You know, it's kind of funny because, you know, here you got two people that I do believe are deeply in love with each other, and you made mistakes and you hurt, right? He admitted that when he was younger, he hurt you, and you made some mistakes. But if you're giving each other another chance, all I can say is don't screw it up. Thank you. Good luck to you.